we have lights going out for our first race in D4 in Portimao. And we are off the line. Let's hop on with Hudzy right here, as he's getting a very poor start. I mean, we see Siggy, Big Ale Bro, just jumping the line, basically. Hudzy going very wide.
The drivers coming into turn one, there was a bit of a collision with McLaren and Ferraris back there. Of course, Siggy and NVA fighting at it. Siggy pulls across the lead. He goes on the outside line in turn four. Ben has been disqualified. He was parked in a dangerous location, so that might put him out of, I'm pretty sure that puts him out of the race, but Siggy's come out with a massive lead of an arrow up into P5 behind his teammate. He dives up the inside on turn 5, and he's ahead.
And I mean, ahead he is. I mean, the two Mercedes having a wonderful start. I mean, NV folding to Siggy. Siggy having an amazing start to the race. Currently on the medium tires, trying to push these tires as hard as he can, trying to break that DRS as quick as possible.
Yeah, and in the back, Arrow is spun, or had a collision with, looks like Christian Cummins.
Oh, we hate to see that. As you see, Christian Cummins also getting sent down the order, also on the medium tires. So Bigger Bro being the only Mercedes in the top 5 right now, pushing hard as we see Stars FPS also gaining a lot of positions off the start.
Bebry gains a position, of course, having that medium tire advantage. Looks like Big Elbro actually loses 2 positions. Stars FPS and Bebry up into 4 and 5. So we have 3 medium tire runners in the top 5 and 2 hard runners.
Yeah, and I mean, we see B-Boy Simba also overtaking Big Elbro. Does Big Elbro have front wing damage? He does.
Yeah, he's come into the pits, and Arrow has too, or has Arrow. No, he hasn't, but all the drivers are still incredibly close together. It doesn't look like people going for massive moves. Arrow had a look at that Alpha Tauri of Florida, but decided against it. But of course, Siggy's had a phenomenal start. He's already broken DRS and NVA. Of course, NVA broke DRS behind, so the top 3 have spread them out from the field behind him.
Oh, a big collision between Stars FPS and B-Boy Simba.
Stars FPS is out of the race. Aaron Green off the track. He's only going to be ahead of Hudzy and Big Elbro, who came into the pits. He's down to P14, but this is a disastrous start for McLaren. Of course, they only had 1 driver going into this race, and now he's out of the race.
Yeah, and I mean, Christian Cummins definitely with that lower aero setup, as you can see, gaining on the back of this Alfa Romeo Buffalo Trace.
Yeah,
definitely looking to make a move, spending a lot of battery.
Yeah, he's pulling around to the left, going into turn 1. He's alongside, and can he brake later? He does. He's into super low gears, but Buffalo manages to carry more speed through the corner and stay ahead of Christian Cummins. Of course, Christian Cummins is going to have an opportunity to try and fight back at him on this next DRS straight. That looks like Hokage and Bebry have come together, so drivers are magnets for one another here. Fun. And Arrow's looking to make a positions here too as they go through 3 and 4. K-Seb's gotten ahead, and looks like Arrow's trying to capitalize on Gibbs here. And Arrow gets it ahead of, he's gotten a 3-second time penalty for track limits already, though.
To Pylon. Pylon and Van Siggy also being the ones out of the incidents, as B-Boy Simba trying to go around the outside of Buffalo Trace does not make the move.
Yeah, and we have a lot of fighting here down in 6 and 7. Looks like 4 cars were involved. We're missing a lot of the action today. I mean, as Christian Cummins looks for a move on Gibbs, but he just can't quite make it stick. Gibbs still getting more traction as Kevin Magnussen goes wide. He's not going to be able to get that position there. Hopefully he avoided track limits. He stays behind Christian Cummins, who will still be looking to make moves on Gibbs, but any overtaking opportunities in Sector 2 are really not a thing. He really wants to get ahead of K-Sev. He must think he has a bit more pace in the engine.
Not only a bit more pace, but, I mean, get away from the medium tire runner. I mean, I don't think he wants to be the one being getting slowed down by doing wheel-to-wheel with a medium tire run, as he sends a very ambitious move around the inside, and he makes it.
And looks like Christian Cummins might be sneaking through, but he gets forced to the outside line. Definitely not optimal there. We'll see who can get better traction. Looks like K-Seb was squeezed a little bit and had to take that apex, and now he's under pressure from Gibbs, who's ahead of him. It's going to be a game of who can break later, and looks like the cars are going 3 wide at the turn 5. Oh, and K-Seb gets knocked. He was just squeezed there, so the Swords will definitely be looking at that. It's hard to tell who's at fault. Of course, going 3 wide, you have to leave the room. Gibbs getting very close to Kevin Magnussen, but, I mean, I don't think that was going to work. Turn 5 pinches so much. And try and build a gap on the DRS train, at least if they play it smart. They're not going to fight each other too hard.
Oh, it's NV gets ahead of C?
Yeah, well, I think NVA's just started to catch up. Those hard tires might be coming into their own. So we missed the battle for the lead. We were enamored with that DRS train, bringing us some of the best fighting I think we've seen all season.
And I mean, the DRS train that has quote unquote ended is still happening with Florida and Christian, was still battling out for people.
Yeah, and of course, we need to watch the gap in Sector 2 here. Looks like NVA is starting to pull up, but this is really going to tell us where the tires are. If NVA is able to pull out a gap here in Sector 2, then he definitely has better tires. But I don't think he's going to break DRS on Siggy, who might give him try and attack in this lap. Siggy with about 10% less battery, almost 20 now, than NVA. So both drivers are really not going to be able to deploy that much. And of course, Pylon behind them is going to be hoping these two drivers can keep battling and let him catch up and get stuck in. We could have a DRS train for the top three here and a big fight. A half race distance here. Once again, Siggy incredibly close behind NVA going into turn one. We'll see if NVA can get it closer. Before he was 4/10 behind, didn't have the run. He's closing around 3/10 now, but it's going to be down to the run he can get out of turn four. He doesn't have a ton of battery to play with here. He's deploying a little. He's 4/10 behind. He wasn't able to make that work before. He is on the medium tire. We're not sure if that is more grip than NVA's at this point, but it has to be getting to that point. So Siggy can just not make that late braking move to try and get ahead of the NVA.
But now fresh hards versus older hards, but Siggy opting to over. Oh no, as he goes in.
Siggy's into the pits. Something important to note here is that NVA was been keeping up with Siggy almost the whole time besides the opening lap on hard tires, so I think NVA has an exceptional amount of pace here.
Yeah, and NVA definitely going to be showing it soon.
Yeah, and Siggy might come out ahead of Christian Cummins here, which would be insane. Insane that the top two drivers have pitted into clean air. It looks like Siggy isn't gonna quite get it. I think just him and Florida, or maybe Keisler too, who's closed that gap to Florida. We've not been keeping track of that one, but he's done it exceptionally. Siggy is going to be under massive pressure from Keisler here, manages to get ahead. But of course, Siggy's going to have DRS going up that pit straight, which is super important on those cold tires. That's going to allow him to claw back some of that time and try and make this undercut work on NVA.
Being pitting now, and he is into the pits, lap 17, sorry, not 16.
Yeah, and he did not speed into the pit lane, so he's doing well there. Throwing on the medium tires, of course. Looked like a good stop from Ferrari, so he'll be coming out, and he may actually be coming out ahead of Florida. But if he doesn't, that's actually a good position for him if he can steal a little bit of DRS off of him. But, oh, it's going to be close.
Oh, it is going to be close.
Incredibly close. They might actually be side by side in the turn one. Looks like Keisler pulls ahead, no battery on... Oh, never mind. I'm a bit blind, I suppose.
Remember, Florida is on quote-unquote better tires with his temperatures definitely being in range, but
yeah, Siggy behind gets ahead of Florida, but this is actually played wonderfully into NVA's hands. Siggy just got caught in traffic, and he's had at least two cars put in between him and NVA, so NVA is just going to be able to warm up his tires here and start getting time on Siggy. And that looks like Buffalo Trace is on extremely low batteries, absolutely no straight line speed. And Leo Hudson just cannot break late enough at the turn one, but he fights it back, moves back in, and he might be ahead going into turn two, but no, he hits the inside curb. They're still going at it. And Leo Hudson is ahead of Buffalo Trace, but Buffalo Trace is going to be able to fight it back with the second straight. He'll be looking to break later at the turn nine, but Hudson just gets a better run with an exceptional fight through the first couple of corners.
That B-Boy Simba has one of the best runs of his life.
Aaron G is going to make a move at the turn 5. He tries to break later. He's on the apex, squeezing Gibbs to the outside. Gibbs just gets a slightly better run, but he's going to keep trying it. Gibbs cannot get fully ahead. Aaron backs out. He might try and switch it back at the turn 8, but it looks like Gibbs just manages to keep it ahead. The move is going to have to happen here for Aaron, or it won't happen. He's 4/10 behind on the main straight. He has a 40% of battery to play with versus Gibbs 20%, so he definitely has more as he starts throwing battery on exit. He keeps that toe as Gibbs tries to break it. Gibbs deploying his battery. They're now even, but Aaron G just has so much more straight line as the outside of turn 1. He manages to pull ahead, and Gibbs spins! He hit the curb on the inside of turn 1. He's going to have to try and keep it ahead of Arrow here, and that's super unfortunate for Gibbs. We would have loved to see those two fight it out to the end, but if we go to P1, the man who has run an impeccable race, had the insane amount of pace, he comes around the final turn, up to the finish line, he goes to the inside, NVA has won the D4 Portugal Grand Prix. We have NVA in P1 with the fastest lap, Siggy in P2, and Pylon in P3 for Aston Martin, finishing off the podium. A great result for Williams with Siggy. In fourth, we have Keisler from Christian Cummins, then Florida, Aaron Green, Gibbs, K-Seb, Arrow, Kevin Magnuson, Hokage Rolde, Buffalo Trace, Leo Hudson, Big Elbro, Bebry, and Stars FPS and Ben did not finish the race.